Good morning and welcome to Namaste today, a joyful way to begin your day. I'm your heartfelt host and the Sensei to serious joy, Christopher Witecki. And this audio blogcast is for Friday. Thank goddess it's Friday. Friday, April 28, 2017. Welcome back, my friend. Namaste. Well, after 2 days of things feeling extremely sluggish, today and tomorrow, energy picks up. In today's Zodiac weather, I'll tell you where the planets are, where Mercury retrograde is, and what you can expect for the weekend. And later in your tea time, I thought it'd be fun to go a little off topic and talk about some of Earth's secrets. But first, let's take a look at today's moods and your Zodiac weather. This Zodiac weather is for Friday, April 28, 2017. And my global forecast for planet Gaia is sunny and sharp today. Step 8 rules the day, which means you know what you're not. And the moon in Gemini excites ideas. Let's take a look at the planets. I don't know about you, but I felt like the last couple days were like living in oatmeal. That's kind of the combination of grounded Taurus energy and this new moon. But today, things will sharpen up, my friend. Step 8 is I decide, and it is the ruling degree of Taurus today. That means you are ready to make some preliminary decisions in your life. Now, in these first 11 steps, it's always things that we don't want to be, things that we are not. So it's really a decision of what we are not. But often we are already focused on what we want to be. And so today it is that railroad crossing, time to decide and move to the next step. So by sunset, you'll likely feel pretty solid about something you are manifesting, or at the simplest degree, you'll be much more clear about a certain value, a value in yourself, a value that you now decide you do value. You may also be deciding you no longer value something else in your life. And this organization of values is really the preparation to manifest. Once you know how much value you have, you're in a place to go shopping and start the process. Now, as I mentioned before, we're all manifesting forward because the universe sort of forces us to go forward. We have to plant our crops, even though we're not quite sure what the crop should be. And because of Mercury retrograde, we aren't sure who we are in this whole story. That questioning is going to continue through the weekend and, frankly, all the way to May 4th, when Mercury is finally direct. But over this weekend, you're going to find yourself reconsidering who you are and what you value while you move forward nonetheless with whatever project is directly in front of you or under your feet. Now, today energy will be a bit foggy because Mercury is still conjuncting Uranus, and so there is still an aha moment the universe is trying to bring us to. I don't think it's going to be as clear as a light bulb, but I do think that you're going to find yourself examining down a new path or a new direction by the end of the weekend. And when I say new direction, I mean your character and where your character wants to go and wants to grow. But another reason for the bit of fogginess is Venus, the planet that tells us what we're opening up to, moves to step 0 during the course of today. Venus is now ready to move into Aries. You could almost say she is the catcher's mitt. As soon as we figure out who we are and where we want to go, Venus is going to climb up the Aries degrees and we're going to open up to this truth step by step. But having Venus at 0 degrees for 2 days in a row means that you will feel like opening up to nothing. This is kind of like when you open up the fridge and you have no clue what you want to eat and you just stand there with the fridge open. That's kind of what Venus at 0 degrees is. You just don't have any clue what you're open to. You don't know what you want. You don't know what will taste good. You really just kind of find yourself kind of moving in circles. So don't feel bad. I think the universe in some ways is getting us to dive deeper on who we are and what our wants are. And you might even find on the other flip side of things that you have no time and space, step 0, to open up and receive anything. You might find yourself in a super busy period in the next 0 degree and you have no time for yourself. That's also kind of a condition of Venus at 0 degrees. Now, the moon, which is our emotional state, is in Gemini today, and it crossed Mars during the middle of the night here in the United States. So if you had violent or crazy dreams, it might have been that Mars-Moon conjunction. But today, the moon will move through Gemini and through Saturday in Gemini as well, which means emotions and thoughts will ping-pong off of each other. You can have a feeling that leads to a thought, then that thought creates another icky feeling, and then that icky feeling creates a thought. You know, this is an excellent time really to channel, to write, to chant, to meditate, really to do any sort of basic ritual that'll get your emotions kind of on track, because I think Mars is exciting this energy, and I think the reason why our emotions and thoughts are coming together at this particular moment with the universe has to do with this aha moment we're trying to get to. So to give you the steps as they lay out through the weekend, today on Friday, you're going to be making decisions, probably a decision to cut away from something and point towards something in your life. Again, it may be a value-conscious decision, so you're deciding that you're worth this, or you're deciding that you no longer value that, but you do value this. By this evening, Step 9 clicks into gear by sunset, and so probably Friday night will be a lot of pondering about what to do, how to put this new decision into action. Then what happens on Saturday is we wake up in that action energy, and Saturday is going to be an excellent day to get things done. In fact, I always tell my subscribers, pick the low-hanging fruit on this particular day, a Step 9 day. Get things moving, get them out. You'll find that it's very exhilarating, and you'll also see opportunities open up after you clear your plate. I also think with the moon in Gemini, again, emotions and thoughts are bouncing off of each other. This energy is going to need a little bit of an outlet, okay, I think, to not turn into anxiety. Then on Sunday, we move into Step 10. In fact, Step 10 actually rules Saturday night. So from Saturday night into Sunday morning, we're in the I manifest. And Step 10 is the natural born step of Taurus. So we are literally hatching one of the first phases of whatever it is we're manifesting. If you're creating value, you'll find that by Sunday morning, you are starting to feel that value or not. Now, feelings turn to a different degree. They move into Cancer, the moon does on Sunday. And so emotions now get maybe deeper and a bit more moody and a bit more cloudy. I think we're going to be sunny, but feeling somewhat vulnerable on Sunday. So you might want to take a little extra time and space with your feelings. The truth is things are hatching. And Mercury has now moved off of Uranus. It'll be at Step 24. And I think just having that Uranus energy off of our thoughts is going to be a huge kind of sliding into home base. You know, like, feeling much better. So Sunday, you may need a little extra self-nurturing, and the goal of Sunday really is to feel good. So today decide, tomorrow you act, and on Sunday, you hatch the first layer. All right, my friend, I thought since it's Friday and there's been a lot of interesting buzz on the internet, I would shift topics to something a little more fascinating than usual. Go steep yourself some tea. Let's have our weekend tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is Earth's secrets. I'm bringing up this topic at this time because looking at the planets, looking at this year, it seems our fate is taking off. When I say fate, I mean probably the reason we were born to live. I think every soul chooses one big hot topic, so to speak, of a lifetime when they choose to incarnate. And I don't believe that the people on Earth right now have had their hot topic happen. Nearly every human being I've spoken to feels like there's, quote, something coming. And I believe this is absolutely true myself. That's why I'm talking about it today. And I'm telling you about it because I believe we're about to move forward with the manifestation. Like I said, we're going to lay some sort of golden egg. We're going to come into a golden era with ourself. And I thought it'd be worthwhile to talk about the future and maybe some of Earth's potential secrets. Now, it's funny, Neptune is in Pisces right now, and a lot of people talk about Neptune in Pisces, where basically cults will begin, people will start to follow really fanatical leaders. Basically, in a time when Neptune says it's time to take it higher, everyone interprets that the way they want. That's the weird thing about Neptune. It doesn't point you in the right direction. It just lets you out of your normal way of thinking. It takes you into a higher state of being wherever you happen to want to float. And there are many dimensions to float in and out of from what I can view so far in my life. Now, that said, Neptune is opening up human beings' minds to other dimensions. And one of the interesting rumors I've been seeing on the internet is this idea that Earth is flat. Now, to be honest, I think like most people, when I first heard it, I was just like, that's absolutely ridiculous. But then I had some really credible people that I respect telling me all these different facts about it. So I took a real listen to the whole story of how the Earth may be flat, and I asked my gut, and my belief is the Earth is not flat. Okay, like that's just my belief. My guides tell me it's not flat, it's round. I mean, everything I know in science, physics, everything. And I also just feel in a common sense sort of thing. Honestly, we are definitely having an issue with world conspiracy in our lifetime, but I think it's only been in the last 100 years that the Earth has gotten really good at holding in secrets. I think from that point on, it would have gotten out of the bag eventually from some sailor that the Earth was flat. That's just my opinion. But the reason why I bring up this concept, whether you believe it or not, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. We'll find out as soon as commercial aviation into space happens, which Virgin Galactic and Amazon is working on, and Elon Musk is working on. So I'm assuming once every human being can travel into space with a $500,000 ticket or whatever it's going to cost, we'll find out and have our own iPhone pictures of whether the Earth is flat or round. So we're going to figure that one out pretty soon. But I think the idea that people are open up to the concept that the Earth is flat, the fact that their mind is even considering that, right? Just at another time in Earth when we thought the Earth was flat and we were considering it round, you know what I mean? So, this happens from time to time. But I think the reason why people are even going to these huge ideas and theories is because of Neptune and Pisces, that we are opening up to new dimensions of thinking. I also think that Neptune and Pisces means our psychic awareness is opening up, and that means human beings are sensing that things aren't quite right. We're sensing that there's things we don't know. We're sensing that there's things that have been held from us. We're sensing greater things. Our psychic awareness is expanding and opening. And I think this is why, honestly, the FDA and all sorts of corrupt corporations are trying to close down, our psychic awareness with chlorine in the water and all these different things. Fluoride in the water and all these different things. So the truth is, the human race is waking up, and it's happening anyways, and we're sensing that there's something they're not telling us. We are sensing that the Earth has some big secrets. I also think what we're sensing as we come into a general psychic awareness is that we are sensing our possible world destruction. Now, the reason why we are sensing possible world destruction, I don't think is because we're reading the future that it's going to happen. I think psychically human beings are waking up to the fact that it already has happened. It's my belief, with everything I've studied in spirituality, that we absolutely had an ancient civilization here. I don't think it called itself Atlantis. That was Plato's word. It had a different word, which is one of the reasons why our memories aren't jogged. But I, myself, have had my own visions. This ancient civilization was high in technology, highly evolved, and something really horrible happened. In other words, it was a great society that blew itself up. And so I think in our collective conscious past life memories, we all are afraid of seeing that happen again. Many of us, I think, are seeing images of it, and we believe that we're seeing images of the future. But from my understanding of metaphysics and conscious reality, we are creating the future right now, period. End of story. And there is no time and space on the God spiritual level. There's only one moment, and we're all in it at this very moment together right now. As you listen, I'm with you right now. You know what I mean? So it is our option to create what we want in the future, and it's very, very understanding that we be concerned about world destruction. I think that time will unfold and show these truths. In the current consciousness, I also think there's another common thread that is built into our subconscious, and that's this idea of the world coming together as one. Now, I believe that we all psychically expect the world to come together as one because I believe heaven is one. We come from a oneness, and this is what we instinctually understand, that we should all be together and working together like all the cells in a complex organism. We are all meant to be as one. But I also think that because we have the right to turn our back on God in our free will lifetime, that this definition of the world as one can be interpreted differently if you're not in your heart. And so I believe that we all have this push for one world. Now, unfortunately, the negative side of this, I think, calls it the New World Order. So corporations and the Illuminati, as they say, and all these dark entities that have turned their back on God, they see a new world order where the world is all reporting to them. I myself, coming from the light, believe that they're going to lose and that we're going to create a one world order where the world is one. I also believe that aliens exist in the universe, and the reason why they haven't officially knocked on our door is because we don't represent ourselves as one world yet. I think that's probably the benchmark of teenager to adult in intergalactic world. If the world's fighting with themselves, we don't want to deal with their mess, right? Like, they're hot messes. Let's wait for those kids to grow up. So in our lifetime, to drill this home down to you and what you're manifesting right now, I believe we have two fated eras that we were born to live. One of them is Pluto and Capricorn. You can basically break these down by Pluto. We're coming to the high degrees of Pluto and Capricorn. Things are going to heat up in the next 6 years. Pluto is death and rebirth. Capricorn is control. So we're going to rebirth, and obviously it hasn't happened yet, because it's the same old shit, right? Like going on right now. We're gonna in the next 6 years, the prophecy of the astrology is we will rebirth what we consider to be control issues. That means that we're going to come down to some sort of a head when it comes to power and control on the earth. And I believe that President Trump and this new this new team that's in the White House, I mean, this is the beginning of this conflict, and it's going to be interesting how it unfolds. Now, I think in this conflict, it comes down to two sides: the one world order and the new world order. Which will it be? I think if you polled the entire world, they'll all choose one world order in a democracy way. And I think that a lot of the new world order kind of super elite and the oil cartels and the bank cartels, these groups really did lose a lot of footing with their 30-year plan with two things. One, Brexit. I think Great Britain leaving was a huge hiccup that they didn't expect, and I was like, yay! And a lot of people said, oh, it was horrible. But I have seen it as, no, the people democracy, it actually worked. Thank God. You know, like, and the second, which has been very interesting, obviously, has been the election of Donald Trump. I mean, he was just kind of a rabbit out of the complete hat. None of us saw that coming. And even though people may be unhappy with what happened, I don't think he rigged the election. I think that it fell according to the laws of democracy. And this was, I think, probably a hiccup in the New World Order's plans, which makes me happy. However, I think that the New World Order, I think that this kind of regime that wants to take over, blah, 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 I think that they're heavy part of the military complex. And what I'm saying to you today is, you know, as a conscious human being, we have to be very awake now. Remember all the things we learned in grade school about World War II and every human conflict, and really dig our feet in about what our morals are, about what is right and what is wrong. And that's something that is part of the story we were born to live. So this decision, basically this new decision, this new commitment for democracy with Pluto and Capricorn is part of the story we were born to live. And this is going to be what we focus on in the next 6 years. I believe the real action of the story begins a year from now. And that has a lot to do with Uranus moving into Taurus and where Pluto will be in its Capricorn degrees. At this point, things are getting intense. Saturn will also be in Capricorn. Those are my astrological citations. So we have this honeymoon period of this summer, and some manifesting period of the fall before things start getting shifty about these world politics, who should be in control and who shouldn't be in control. Now, I don't want to make you guys worry because I really believe in my whole heart that the light has come to inherit the earth, period. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm stepping up every day that I can in my own life to make that happen. But I also believe there's another part of our birth story that doesn't have to do with war and control, and it has to do more with Earth's secrets. And Earth's secrets meaning our wisdom from this ancient civilization that we once possibly were. There's all sorts of evidence all over the place that there's a lot more than we realize. In fact, I think there's 3 big A's we have to question: Atlantis, Antarctica, and aliens. Okay, like basically, I think Atlantis or an ancient civilization was here. Edgar Cayce said that, evidence can be found under the Sphinx of this. The Egyptian government doesn't let us dig under the Sphinx. But the point is that there may be some fascinating things that happen. And when Pluto goes into Aquarius, which is in 2023, I believe at that point we move from control issues to actual growing up into a let's say highly technological and also highly consciously aware society and civilization. And so after this decision of whether it's going to be one world together or a new world order, we move into this enlightenment period that goes from 2023 to 2043. And in this enlightenment period, we begin to literally wake up. And this brings me back to those 3 A's. I think the 3 A's are the 3 areas. One is that there's an ancient civilization that we call Atlantis right now, and we have ancient knowledge. And I think as a world order, it's time to compare all of our ancient mysteries and start to piece this together. The other is Antarctica. And Antarctica is very interesting because it could be Atlantis, and Antarctica is this weird land if you don't know. For one, the people who believe the Earth is flat think that you can discover the truth in Antarctica. So their psychic spidey senses are already sensing something's in Antarctica. There's evidence of pyramids there. There's evidence of, a secret base there. There's all sorts of weird stuff down there. Our governments have been down there. And really, we the people, at some point, I think, once we decide to come together, we need to ask what the hell is going down there in Antarctica. And I think what will unveil is it's likely tied to the 3rd A, aliens. All right, so I believe that we probably live in an intergalactic world already. And I say this, from meditating on this and asking my guides and my gut instincts, my psychic awareness. And, I try not to judge my own psychic awareness. I just ask it and ask it and ask it over and over. And I get yeses on a lot of these things. And I believe probably we are not, like I said, communicating officially with the intergalactic community because we haven't come together as one voice yet, authentically. I also think it's highly likely that there's different shades of gray when it comes to the aliens, literally, and some may have good intentions and some may not have good intentions. And I think as a one world people, we're going to have to face that. So, we worry about these small politics right now in Washington, D.C., but I really believe in our lifetime we're going to be waking up to some huge Earth secrets. And I believe it's the light walkers, the people like you who are in their heart, who are in their intuition, that are going to be the people that end up serving as ambassadors of the new age and holding space for other people who aren't ready yet for this. They ask, well, the people aren't ready to know about aliens. I think people are absolutely ready to know about aliens. I don't think people are ready to deal with the emotional truth of it, though. They don't know how to manage their emotions. And I think some people will be in pure shock. But I think that a lot of us were born to live this story where the Earth really wakes up in our lifetime, really makes a conscious decision about how it should be governed. And after we make that conscious decision, I think we came here to open our eyes and see what the intergalactic truths of life and reality really are. And from that, really begin to plan a civilization that will thrive and not struggle. I think that's the goal. Hopefully, we can turn the wheel in this lifetime. And I'm grateful for you for listening. I'm grateful for you for following. And I'm grateful that you're interested in these bizarre topics with me. Well, friend, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Remember while you're out there that I love you, and live, love, be. Live, love, be.